to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I created this makeup look right here, and it's actually inspired by Norvina. There's a show going on YouTube. I believe it was James Charles who came up with the idea. I believe it's his show. He just has some co-hosts. So Norvina is actually one of the co-hosts on the show, and you guys, I was obsessed with the look that she was wearing in the first episode. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned, but it's called Instant Influencer. And her look was just beautiful. I had to recreate it. So she did a really pretty orange eye and she added some jewels. Her jewels were stars. I didn't have any stars in my collection, so I opted for what I actually had, and I am obsessed, you guys. So I'm also using the last palette in the High Times collection from Cara Beauty. So I did 3 different looks with each palette. I will leave the link to the other 2 looks for the other 2 palettes down below in the description box if you guys are interested in trying that out. But for today, we're going to be using the Orange Pop palette. This is what the palette looks like right here. It is so beautiful, and these are unbelievably pigmented, you guys. They are unreal. For the price of these, you really cannot beat it. It is amazing. So here's what the palette looks like right here. Super stunning, very shocking, and yeah, this is the look that we came out with. I really hope you guys enjoy it. But before we get into the video, I did want to mention to you guys that I really enjoyed these palettes. The formula of these are absolutely amazing and out of this world, so I figured a great way to give back to you guys, especially because girl, we just hit 2,000 subscribers, was to do another giveaway. So I'm actually going to be giving away the entire Cara Beauty High Times collection. So of course you guys are going to be able to win the Orange Pop palette, which is the one I'm wearing today, as I mentioned. You're also going to be able to win the Purple Haze palette, which is also a really good one. Like I said, I have videos with these as well. And then of course the Girl Scout palette. So if you guys would like to be entered to win this bundle, all you have to do is, first of all, give this video a huge thumbs up. Definitely have to be subscribed to my YouTube channel, and also leave me a comment down below on what's been occupying your mind during this quarantine. So I'm super excited for today's video. I hope you guys really enjoy it. So before we get into the video, please don't forget to give this video a huge thumbs up. Please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you have not already. And without further ado, if you guys would like to see how I created this really pretty orange eye inspired by the beautiful Norvina, then just keep on watching. Guys, so like I mentioned, we're going to be using the Orange Pop palette from Cara Beauty, and the first shade I'm going to be using is the shade called Cannabis, which is a really pretty light orange, and I'm going to work this into the crease with a fluffy brush. I really did build up this color, you guys, but like I said, these are super pigmented, so it really did not even take that much time to actually build up this color. So with the fluffy brush, just go right into the crease with this shade. Next, I'm going to go in with a shade called 420, which is a darker orange, and I'm going to take this on an M506 brush. I personally like to do my looks basically building up the color, so I go from the lightest to the darkest color, and then I'm going to take that same fluffy brush. You want to keep a fluffy brush on hand just to make sure you have something to blend each shadow out as you're applying them. So that's what I'm doing here, just making sure everything's nice and blended. Then I'm going to go in with the shade called Red Eyes. You guys, this color is so freaking beautiful. I could not even take how beautiful this color was. So I'm taking this on an even tinier brush. Actually, leave the name of the brush down below in the description box. It is a Morphe brush. I just can't think of the number off the top of my head, so I will leave it down below. But I did go ahead and put this in the crease as well, and this color just made this look go to another level. This was just like bomb, you guys, like bomb. So now I'm gonna go in and cut my crease. As always, I'm using the P. Louise and Mitchell base in blank canvas. It is amazing, and I'm gonna go ahead and cut my crease, you guys. Honestly, I have been doing this in all my videos, so I'm just going to skip through this part and we are going to move on. So to go ahead and set that base, I'm gonna be using the shade 420 again, and I'm gonna take it on a flat shadow brush. It did get a little bit patchy here, like there was some light orange spots, some deeper orange spots, and honestly, you guys, that was my own fault because I didn't give the base a chance to set. So there were some pieces that were wet and some pieces that were already dry. So that was my problem, but it's okay because no matter what, we're going to be covering it up with glitter. So for glitter, I'm going to be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills glitter adhesive. Also gonna actually be using an Anastasia Beverly Hills glitter. This one is in the shade Pumpkin. It was part of their Halloween collection. Of course, you can use the glitters in the Cara Beauty palette. It just wasn't the undertone that I was looking for, so I chose to use this one instead. But of course, you have the option in the palette. You definitely don't need to use a different glitter. So moving on to the outer corner, I'm gonna be going in with a shade called Bank, which is a nice deep brown. And I'm actually gonna put this just on the outer corner of the eye and a little bit in the outer part of the crease. This is just to give the eye a little bit of definition and really bring out the eyes. That way it's just not a bright orange look, if that makes sense. And you just want to make sure that you also take a little bit more of the shade Red Eyes on a small brush and just make sure you intensify that orange. That way it doesn't get lost with the brown. So at this point, I did go ahead and do wing liner. I used the Anastasia Beverly Hills liner. I did this off camera because I could not get a clip for the life of me. So we're going to move on to the face. For the face, I'm going to be using this LC Cosmetics. This is actually a glow oil primer. It is so beautiful, you guys. Also very expensive, so I don't know if I recommend it, honestly. This is the first time I was using it, so we're gonna move on. For foundation, I'm gonna be using the Pure 4-in-1 Love Your Selfie foundation. You guys know I love this foundation. It is such beautiful coverage, and for a girl who has dry skin, it's very hard to find full coverage that doesn't make me look dry or cakey. So this one's amazing. I'm using the Dose of Colors sponge with it as well, which I absolutely love. It is such a good sponge. To blend out the foundation in between my brows, I'm actually just going to be using this buffing brush from Morphe, and then we're going to move on to some cream bronzing. Of course, as always, I'm going to be using the Huda Beauty Tantour Contour and Bronzing Cream, and I don't do this in any particular way. I actually just dipped my beauty sponge in the actual container, and then I apply it everywhere I actually want to have a little bit of color to my skin before I put on my bronzer, if that makes sense. So super easy to work with, and the formula is amazing. For concealer, I'm going to be using the KKW concealer. This one is in the shade number 4. It's such a beautiful brightening concealer, and I really love the consistency of this. So I typically highlight under my eyes, the bridge of my nose, my cupid's bow, and my chin, and I use the same blending sponge that I used for my foundation, which again is the Dose of Colors sponge. So to set my concealer in place, I'm going to be using the Laura Mercier translucent powder. I love this powder, you guys, and even though I have drier skin and I feel like this is more of a matte finish, it really makes my under eyes look really nice and smooth, and it's just super easy to work with, so it's always my go-to. So of course, no surprise, to set the rest of my face, I'm going to be using the Sephora Micro Smooth powder. This one is in the shade Light, and honestly, you guys, this powder is just amazing. I love it. So I just take a big fluffy brush. This one here is from It Cosmetics, and I set my entire face with this powder, and then we're gonna go ahead and bronze the skin. I'm gonna be using the Physicians Formula Butter Collection with Whaley, and you guys, this palette is amazing. So I'm gonna be taking that first bronzer shade at the top, and you guys, I'm honestly just gonna bronze my skin, but you guys, this palette is so good. I found mine at Target, so if you happen to be at your local Target picking up any essentials that you need for your house, and you happen to come across this palette, I definitely recommend you guys pick it up because it is so good. So I'm gonna go ahead and bronze my nose a little, and then we're going to be doing some baking. I'm going to be using the Airspun powder from Coty, and you guys, honestly, this powder is super affordable. I get mine at Walmart, and honestly, I like baking with powders that are more affordable because you are just wasting a ton of powder, and I am using my e.l.f. Total Face Sponge to go ahead and make that nice sharp line. So for blush, I'm going to be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Blush Trio. This one is in the shade Peachy Love, and I honestly just mixed all of them together and popped those on my cheeks because I wanted a peachy moment. I kind of did like kind of a monochromatic everything in the peach tones, if that makes sense. So I went ahead and applied my blush, and then for highlight, I'm going to be using the Laura Geller Gilded Honey highlighter. It's a really beautiful blinding highlight, and it's also a baked highlighter, so it does not sit on the skin. It really melts into the skin really beautifully. So I highlight my cheekbones, my nose, my cupid's bow, and chin, and then of course I always go back in with my blush brush just to make sure the highlight is not too overpowering. So then I'm going to go ahead and wipe this bake away, and we are going to move on to finishing up these eyes. So for the lower lash line, we're going to first start off with the shade called Cannabis, and of course I'm going to be taking it on a small blending brush. I'm going to go ahead and just blend it out on the lower lash line just to get it ready with some color, and then I'm also going to be going in with the shade called 420. Since this is more of a darker color, I'm actually going to be taking this on a flat definer brush. You guys know I love this one specifically. This is from the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill eye brush set. I will link it down below as well. So I did apply that color too, and then I'm also going to go in with the shade Red Eyes, and I'm going to take this on that same flat definer brush. This color is so beautiful. Like, can you guys see the difference once I applied this color in the crease and now to the lower lash line? It's crazy. So I'm going to go ahead and pack that onto the lower lash line just to give it a nice pop of color. Then I'm going to take that small blending brush one more time and just make sure everything is nice and diffused. So for the waterline, I did go in with 2 P. Louise bases and mix them together. I will leave them down below in the description box if you guys are interested in the names. And I just took a small brush, you guys, it's just like a shadow brush, and I packed it on my waterline. And keep in mind, this is a cream, so you do want to set it. So I did go back in with the shade called Cannabis on a small brush as well, and I just set that base in place. And girl, there you go. You have a nice, beautiful, bright colored liner, and you just used a base. My inner corner highlight, I'm going to be taking that white shade right there called Sails from the ABH Riviera palette, and I'm going to just pop that in my inner corner. I just wanted a little bit of brightness in that area, and that is basically it for the eyes. I'm going to go ahead and give myself a good coat of mascara. As always, with my KKW Beauty Mascara, I have been loving it. It is so good, and I love the fact that I can use it on my top and bottom lashes. So now we're going to move on to the jewels. So I actually had these jewels left over from Halloween, and they're kind of just stuck together with like a tacky like tape kind of thing. So I just pulled them apart, and you guys, it was so hard to get this part on camera. Like, I was just everywhere with this. So I basically took some of the smaller ones and applied them right where my wing stopped. And as you guys can see, I was struggling, girl, because I was trying to figure out how to hold this jewel. I dropped like 10 of them before I got them to actually stick on my face. So I did actually stick them on with lash glue. The lash glue honestly worked perfectly. It did not come off at all. So now for lips, I'm gonna go ahead and use the Kylie Cosmetics lip liner in the shade Handbag Ho. One of my favorites. I probably use it way too much. I definitely need to find a new lip liner. So let me know down below you guys' favorite nude lip liners so I can check them out. So basically what I do is just outline my lips and then also fill them in just a little, so that way there's not a huge difference between my liquid lipstick and my lip liner. So for liquid lipstick, I'm going to be using the Laura Lee Los Angeles liquid lipstick in the shade Nakey Nakey. No surprise, but I did want a little peach moment, so I am going to be going in with this Dose of Color liquid lipstick, which I will leave the name to down below in the description box. I just added a little bit in the center, blends it out, and then I went back in with my lip liner to make sure everything was nice and defined. And you guys, that is pretty much it. This look is complete. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Don't forget to enter my giveaway, and good luck to everyone, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!